I've noticed that my clients and my friends and even myself all struggle with rest. And we as a species seem to be at this place in time where we're like, okay, we have all these advantages. We have weighted blankets, we have red light therapy, we have air conditioning. Why are we so tired? Why are we all constantly so tired? I want to help you understand why it's so hard to feel truly rested and why sleep is a struggle for so many people and what you can do about it. Because the solutions you're being told and sold are way more complicated than what the real solution is. And it's really quite simple and quite doable. But for you to really use the solution correctly, you need to understand the problem, the reason we don't feel rested. I want to say, obviously, there are medical conditions and psychiatric conditions that are always a possibility, but for the vast majority of people, that's not why we're not sleeping. We're not sleeping, and even when we sleep, we're not feeling rested, and we can't give ourselves this permission to rest even when we work so hard for a vacation. We can't get into that rest mode really because of two main factors. The first factor is that our bodies have not changed for a very long time, but our environment has changed rapidly. The fastest it's ever changed, especially in the last few decades, the last few 100 years. Now, why does that difference matter? It matters a lot more than most people realize. People are looking for the solutions in products and services, and they don't realize the answer is literally in their body. Excuse me, kind of choked on my spit a little. You see, our bodies were really designed for a natural environment. That's what we're still currently physically evolved to, body and brain, where there's bigger stimulus, very obvious threats that we can respond to. We also evolved these bodies to be very active and to really participate as part of a community where we know our purpose, we know how we're serving others, we know how others serve us, and we know that when big stimuli, big threats happen, that we solve it within our community. And while we still have those great things about being human now, our environment has changed a lot in that instead of one big threat like a tiger or, a drought so we can't get our crops, we deal with hundreds of small threats throughout the day. And our brain has the same survival response of becoming vigilant, of trying to problem solve, of trying to keep up. But in modern life, we don't have the same closure that our ancestors did. And as a result, we're constantly on alert. There's a never-ending to-do list. And most importantly, our hunter-gatherer ancestors lived in an environment where things rested. Nature itself rested. They honored the seasons. They lived and moved with the seasons. Their food rotated with the seasons. In modern life, we are kind of separated from that. We're actually incredibly separated from that. The way we relate to seasons is what clothes we're wearing, not how much we sleep or what kind of crops we're getting in, because we're now an environment of constant production. And though it's subtle, it is significant. Just because it's subtle doesn't mean it's not significant. Being in an environment where there's a constant demand for our work, for the supply chain, we just are in a culture of constant demand. Our brains and our bodies perceive that as a threat. So even when we work hard to earn a vacation, first of all, we think we had to earn that rest. Our cave-dwelling ancestors worked, the estimate is around 4 to 5 hours a day. And for the rest of the time outside of their labor, they were doing crafts like pottery. They were exploring, they were inventing things, they were grooming, they were sharing stories around the campfire and really getting to know their community. We don't have that. We're burned out by the time we get off work, and then we go to spend time with the people we love and the things we love, and we don't have the energy for it. And it's because We just don't have a culture that tells us rest is valuable anymore. Rest is earned, rest is coveted, it is not an innate human right. And the thing that gets me with this is we think we need to earn rest, and we forget rest and play and exploration. That's how we evolved as a species. Yes, we worked hard. Yes, we labored. But all the beautiful craftsmanship we see in museums and idolize as these cornerstones of human evolution, those came from hobbies. Those came from times of rest. The stories, the myths, the fables that are passed down, those came from times of rest. People forget that rest is one of the most productive things a human can do. Rest contributes to our evolution. It contributes to our ability to show up and express our unique gifts within ourselves, our families, our communities, and the world. So how do we do more of it? How do we rest better? First of all, remember, you don't need to earn rest. You don't. You don't. You deserve it. You need it. You're a human. You are a person. You are not a product. Second, how do you get more rest? Try and be as human as possible. And what I mean by that, wow, it's so windy. I hope this sound is okay. When I say be as human as possible, what I mean is try and live a little bit more how we lived before the agricultural revolution, before things worth became measured in quantity. We moved constantly. We were doing organic movement. We were lifting, we were turning, we were running, we were dancing, we were playing. We would have a relationship to the rise and set of the sun because our lives depended on it. We would be sure to have downtime, not structured family dinner that you have to work to prep, not TV and dinner, just downtime of telling stories, letting our hearts be expressed and fulfilled with the people we know and trust. Community, movement, being more connected to that intuition. That's all what I mean of being more human. And I know this is like, whoa, kind of abstract. You're asking me to live like a cave person. No, I'm asking you to pick one thing. Can you make sure you get more natural sunlight every day? Because that actually scientifically is proven to help balance your circadian rhythms, help you sleep better at night. Can you try to be more connected to your food? Can you eat slower food? That would help. Can you let yourself be expressed and seen so that you feel held at night? Maybe you don't need to weight a blanket. Maybe you just need to feel held by the people who care about you. Another way to feel more rested is to know that rest isn't what you see on Instagram, and it's not a perfect night's sleep. I just finished hiking. Look at these muddy legs, okay? Like, I just finished hiking. I think it was like 5 miles up a ridge. And that for me is a form of rest, because rest is short for restoration. So what restores you? It might be a nap, but it might be going out and learning archery. It might be going for a hike. It might be painting. It might just be playing board games with your partner. One of the biggest issues we have with letting ourselves rest is thinking we need to rest the way somebody else does. You are the only version of you that will ever exist. Your body has unique desires and needs. Your mind, your spirit are asking you to do certain things. Let your intuition guide that rest. Trust the little signals coming from your body. Whether you have, and here's the other thing people do to mess up rest, they make it this like perfectionism thing. They're like, if I'm gonna rest, it's gonna be on this day for this many hours and I wanna do this. Like, that's great. I'm a perfectionist, I relate, I'm totally calling out myself. But in our modern life, sometimes we only have 5 minutes. Can you let that be enough and actually embrace doing nothing, or just having a little dance break instead of scrolling on Instagram and giving up? So much of why we can't rest is because we think we need to function the way our environment does. But our environment is highly, highly product and technology based. And we are human beings that came from the elements of nature. We need to treat ourselves like nature. We have our own rhythms of growth, and we need to honor them. And the more you practice that, even a little bit here and there, or just get curious of what kind of restoration am I seeking, I promise you'll be more connected to that inner wisdom. You'll be more connected to the needs of your bodies, and you'll find the right biorhythm for you. You'll find the right hobbies and the right schedule for you. You'll be stronger, more fulfilled, and more resilient. And I don't just know this because I'm a person with a camera who felt like telling you. I study psychology. I'm getting my master's in counseling psych. And I've actually lived like a cave person on Naked and Afraid. But I'm just a human being trying to figure it out like you. And I know it's hard sometimes, which is why I actually made a whole video of how to get scientifically proven restoration for mind, body, and spirit in less than 1 hour. And you can see that video here. My name is Sarah, and I'm becoming a therapist. I'm a wilderness guide. I believe that most of our modern problems are solved by simple, ancient solutions, and the science is just now catching up. So if you want to live a happy, full life, this is the place for you. Thanks for being here, and I hope you get to feel the wind on your body today. I hope you feel the sun on your face. I hope you remember you don't need to earn your rest, and you are enough just as you are.